guys, another big job today. Block paved driveway. I was actually here 5 years ago in 2020. It was a lot worse back then. It was horrendous actually. The weeds were absolutely mega. I mean, look, it's been 5 years, so the weeds are obviously back, and it's quite dirty. It's quite dirty again. I mean, you can expect a deep clean like what you see me do to last possibly 3 years, and then it starts to deteriorate quite quickly after that. So 5 years, this is no shock to see it looking like this, but it's, like I say, it's nowhere near as bad as it was when I first came here. I don't remember it having so much black spot though. So loads of weeds all along the edges, loads. Last time I was here, it was twice, maybe 3 times as bad as this. They'd sort of come into the middle, and then there was like a strip that was clear like this. They were way worse than this. Yeah, black spot all along the sides. Okay, these are really lovely people. The lady owner, the Mrs. Doesn't know what that is and where it's come from, which I think maybe it's something the husband did, I don't know, but it looks like, it almost looks like render, but it's not. It's cement. It's a sand and cement mix. I'm almost certain I can't get rid of all that. To be honest, this is the downside to quoting over the phone or online, because people don't tell you or show you the full amount. I accept some responsibility because I haven't come and visited, so I'm not able to assess it properly, but when you're so busy, it's so difficult to pay visits, especially when you've worked there before and you roughly know the sort of job anyway, and you sort of hope that people will tell you about stuff like this. But I'm not saying they deliberately don't, but they just don't really think about it. So I wasn't made aware of this, so I have some acid on the van, very small amount. I'll put it on there, but it may not remove this. I'm hoping the turbo full blast 250 300 bar will absolutely annihilate it, but it may not. So yeah, there's that. So again, like I said, I quoted this by email. I knew what the driveway was because I had the old measurements and stuff from when I did it 5 years ago, but they wanted the patio doing, and I've never seen the patio before, never been around the back or anything like that. And I said, could you just send me a couple of photos? So she did, but she didn't include this pathway that I'm walking along. I mean, look at it. It's like a tip down here. So the photo she took from that window there, and it literally just showed this, and this. Oh, sorry, I can't see. And this. So this is what I quoted. So this is what I quoted for. Now, I don't mind doing, if there's a couple of slabs or maybe a couple of square meters extra that wasn't included in the picture, I don't mind. I'm not going to be difficult. I'm not going to be petty about it. It's just a couple of square meters. It's not going to add on anything. But when you're talking 10, 20, 30 extra square meters, I just can't do that. I need to be paid for that. So yeah, up to here is where I quoted. So here and all this. But look at all this around here. I mean, this will make an amazing video, and I am going to quote it for them. And I'm going to do it slightly cheaper because of, obviously this is going to make an amazing video. So you can look at this. Look how overgrown it is. Black spot heaven there. Completely overgrown. You can't, that's a circle there, that's completely covered. And then it goes all the way around here. You can't even see half of it. Look at that. That should be like that. I think there's a hell of a lot of work here. I mean, I'll have to cut that with the turbo, and then you have to get rid of that turf. There's a lot of work. I'd say there's at least half a day, maybe slightly more than half a day's work here. I just can't give that for free. They're lovely people, and I like to look after people, but that's going too far. So So yeah, all this over there, this, I mean that's a circle there, brick circle, that's lovely. That'll come up lovely when that's all cleaned. And then that's there. So yeah, I've measured it, it's about, it's 36 square metres. Like I said, if it was a couple, maybe even 5 square metres extra, I would do that for nothing, but I cannot clean this. I cannot clean 36 square metres for free, especially when there's so much clearing up to do, all that moss and cutting and things like that. So I've also got to move these pots. Like I say, they're lovely, these people, but and this job's worth quite a lot, so I'm not going to get funny about the pots, but I wish they would have moved them. But look, I'm not going to say anything. This is just something you have to deal with sometimes. I know a lot of you are thinking, nope, I wouldn't do it. Fair enough, but if this was a new customer that I didn't know, I'd probably be a little bit peeved about this, and I'd probably say, look, you need to move those pots. But I've worked for these before, they're good payers, they're really nice people, so I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to move it. But I'm definitely not. I mean, look at this. What do I, if I had to clean down here, what do I do with all this? It's just lots of bags of old sand, the plastic's all like deteriorated, it's all falling out. Where do I put that? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, right, so the bin is nearly full. Let's get cracking. It's going to be another long day. Sorry, before I start, I forgot to say, no drone shots today, forgot me drone, so I put it on the side, ready to go. And that was my mistake, because it wasn't where I normally have it, and I forgot it. Anyway, let's start. I dedicate this foot shuffle to you, Polgara and Denise. I know how much you enjoy these. Oh, it's horrendous today. It's really humid, sticky, it's horrible. Oh, I miss the winter. I really do sometimes. Anyway, right, so it's come up pretty well. All the weeds are gone. Spots everywhere. I'm pretty sure I got rid of them last time, but maybe I didn't. Because they are bad in some places. 5 years, I mean, they do start to appear after about 3 years. I'm just waffling. I'm hot and bothered. Oh, literally my top is so sticky. Okay, enough talking. Let's get on with it. So I've got to soft wash it now. I'm just going to go 50-50 with the X-Jet. Okay, that might be a little bit of overkill, some might think. But you know what? There's so many, the black spots, they're not so much on the blocks, on the surface of the blocks, they're on the chamfered edges. And a lot of the time a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 just doesn't cut it. You have to go over it again. So I just sort of think, well, just get it over and done with and just do it one go, 50-50. So that's what I'm going to do. The cement's gone. Happy days. So yeah, it's very easy to just jump to conclusions and think, oh, I'm going to have to spray that with acid, or a grout and cement remover, I don't know, whatever you choose, but most grout and cement removers are made of acid, so it's always best to try with a turbo first, and it's worked. So yeah, right, let me stop talking and get on with it. Cheers. I'm not sure what that is. Is that supposed to be there? Is that like a feature? I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure that's got to go. Well, it's going anyway. Let's do it. Another super long day. It's about 5:45. Right, let's turn you around. She's come up nice. So the cement's gone. That looks good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. It is so boiling. The temperature says it's only about 25, but it's so humid, so sweaty, and so I definitely wouldn't have had time to do this bit and all that around there. That's come up nice, isn't it? It's still wet there. Oh. Yeah, still damp in that corner over there. So I'm pretty sure I've got all the spots looking nice. So, oh, and down here. Wall looks okay, it's still spotty. So I stopped, as you can see here. I'm going to quote the customer for the rest of it, and I'll see what she says, but she might go for it, she might not. So you might see me again here. Right then guys, I am pooped. This is the third massive job I've done. I say massive, but it is quite big. I mean, it is nearly 6 o'clock. I don't like to work past sort of 4. I don't really have any breaks. Anyway, enough waffle. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.